Hello followers. Today we are going to see the topic Oracle SQL Star Loader. Actually, it's more important topic. So when you are using the data loading, see if you are getting the data from the external system or some flat file, millions of record. So we can't create insert script and load it. It will take lot of time and it's give lot of performance issue. So the best option in Oracle is SQL Star Loader. It's inbuilt product of Oracle, this utility. Directly, we can use this utility, load the data as fast as possible. Okay, it's providing multiple facilities like direct path insert. We can do append incremental load. We can truncate and reload it. Those are the things we have in the SQL Star Loader. Okay, so in the SQL Star Loader, um, we have three important files. First one is control file. Control file is the heart of the SQL Star Loader. It's contain all the instruction whatever required to load the data. Okay, and another file, data file. So it can be .csv file or .txt file. So any file. Okay, it's contain the data. Okay, so then we have some log file. Log file, it's contain the all the details, the execution detail of the SQL Starter. There is one more file, bad file. Bad file, it contain any error in Oracle database level, any error like unique constraint or not any constraint or any database related error, it will log into bad file. Discard file, any error in the control file, then rejected. Then you will be having this discard file, those details. Okay. So conventional path insert. So we have two kind of insert. So conventional path insert. What happen if any memory hole we have inserted 10 records and we deleted 2 records, in there is a memory hole. If we are using the conventional path, Oracle go with conventional path, putting the data into the memory hole. But if you use direct path, what happen? It will go the end of the disk and wherever the memory available space there it will load. It will be faster. Okay, direct path. We can use the direct path load also in the SQL Star Loader. There are some option insert. It's a default option or SQL Star Loader. Append. If you want to do the incremental load, then you have to use append keyword. If you want to replace it, you want to replace the existing data, then you can use replace truncate. You want to remove all the data and you can use it using truncate. Loading null values. If your data having null values, you can mention it in the control file trailing null values. Then it will load at the for the particular column it with null. Okay, date format. We can mention the whatever the format given in the data file. Based on the data file, we can mention the date format. So loading fixed with file. Okay, if we have some fixed length, we can mention it in the position and we can load those kind of files. Loading multiple files. We can data to multiple tables. So using single file, we can load it to multiple tables. Okay, that's also possible in the SQL Star. Common errors. So let's so common errors and 1 minute. So normally what happen whenever we load it, maybe the column not found. Sometimes we are missing some values or the delimiter is missing. Okay, so that's the way we get some error. So we will see how we can fix it also. Okay, so this is the structure. Okay, SQL folder structure. First CSV file or .txt file data. Next control file, it's contain all the instruction. So SQL Starter Loader execution, those all details will be locked here. Lock file and employee bad file, any error related Oracle related then it will load it into here, bat file, discard file. Any control file, due to control file data rejected, then it will be loaded into discard file. So these are the extension for those files. Okay, just I am going to create one sample table, then I am putting this sample data into CSV, then using this control file I am loading. So what are the instructions? First, load data. This is the instruction to SQL Star Loader. We are going to loading the data. This is the first one. Okay, then in file, from where? This is the file. Okay, so if we are there in the current directory, then we can keep it directly, keep it in the file, or else we have to mention it from which directory and the file name. Okay, so into table name. So here default insert, so it will go with insert, then increment load. Okay, that's why it's mentioned append. Okay, field terminated by comma, so the fields are terminated by comma separators, so that's why we are mentioning field terminated by comma, optionally enclosed by double quotes. Okay, in any other place, if some double quotes are there, that one also handled using this optionally enclosed by this trailing nulls. Okay, in the end, if any values are not from some column values missing, then those will be handled using trailing null columns. Okay, so within the bracket, so the column, whatever we are DDL we are going to load, those detail will be mentioned within the brackets. So date, directly we can mention the format which we have in the data. Okay, so this is ddmon-oy. So this is the command to execute the SQL star loader. So SQL LDR, then user ID, then here you can give username, password, at service name. Okay, then control file. That is a control file name. So if you run this command, it will load it into data. Okay, table. Load it the data into table. So then we can check it using the command. Okay, so normal select command. So it will create log file. It will be having the summary of all the details. If any error, then it will be bat file. It will give the discard file. Any control file instruction due to that fail, then it will be having the data from discard file. Okay, so this is the conventional path insert. If you want to do the direct path insert, we have to mention it direct equal to true, then it will go with direct path insert. Okay, it will be faster for if you want to load millions of record, then better go with direct path insert. Okay, so instead of insert, you can replace also, you can use it, truncate also you can use it, truncate, and you can load the data. Okay, so just one more CSV file with some null values also I prepared. If we have null, then if you use the trailing null columns, then it will be taken care while loading. Okay, so date format this. Okay, so if you want to load the fixed with the file, so here we are mentioning position. So first position to fourth position. Exam it's 1, 2, 3, 4. This four position we are having the employee number. Starting from fifth position. Okay, 50th position to 14th position e name. So if we mention this position, so the particular position data will be picked up for the particular column. Okay, so multiple table also we can load. So first in file, then first which table and the columns, and next second table and what is the columns. So that's the way we can use multiple table also we can load it. Okay, so multiple table we can mention it and we can load it. So these are the parameters. Okay, the rows we can mention what are the rows. Okay, then we can have some options also. So how many skip, how many errors we can skip, those option also we can use it as part of loading. So bind size, read size, the reading and binding size also we can manage. So if you get -500, it's unable to open the control file, so we can see the permissions are proper or not. So -53553, it's a file not found, so you have to check any file is correctly existed or not. Unique constraint. So normally we learn in SQL any unique constraint failure. Okay. So any date format, it's not valid month. Okay. So performance tips: use direct path for large data. So increase row span size and resize. So this parameter value you can increase to improve the performance. Okay. So always before loading, disable the index, and once loading is done, then you can rebuild the index for the huge load. Okay. Um, First, so normally we don't load it into main table. First, we will create staging table using SQL Star Loader. We will load it into staging table. From staging table to we will load it to a main table. If you want, you can use parallel loading also if you want to improve the performance. Okay. So just one real-time example, see banking system, we will get data from multiple external system, right? So different sites, we will get the external data. So those data we will get as CSV. Those CSV file, we can keep it in one folder. Then using SQL Starter, we will load it into some staging table. From there, we will write PLSQL program doing the basic validation. Then we can load it to main table. That's a way in the real time it will work. Okay, so normally we will be having set up SQL Star Loader script every day running to load the data. Okay, let's go with the demo. So let's me. So I created already the table. So if you see, uh, if you normally what happen if you want to check, you have the uh, okay. So if you want to check the SQL loader, it's installed in your system. Just SQL LDR. This is the command you can use. Then it will show. So okay, so what is the version you installed the SQL loader? If it's giving unknown command, then SQL loader configuration is not done. Okay. Normally DBA will take care of it. Just what we will do, we will give only control file and data file. So these two files will share. DBA will run it in the server using SQL star loader command. So for demo, I am putting it, run it in here. So okay, so now. And now, so let's see data. So we don't have data. So just I am going to, so I am running this command. See, SQL LDR, Scott Tiger, and service name, control name, employee dot. This is the control file. Okay, so now the records loaded. Okay, see if we see here, this is the data. So whatever data I kept it in the data file, it's came to here. Okay, I'll show the see if you see here, this is the data. Okay, so and this is the control file. Okay, so just I use the same thing and I load it. Okay, so so actually, um, when you create a control file, then it will be very easy to take care of the loading. Okay, so main focus is you have to very clear how to write the control files. Okay, in interviews also they will ask mostly what are the um, key things you have to mention in the control file. Okay, so just remember the what are the parameters we have to mention it in the control file, and you will be easily covered. Okay, so when you get the question like how you handle the large data volume loading, then you can give the answer like using SQL star loader we can handle it. So what are the files you have it in SQL star loader, you can mention it, these are the files. Okay, first flat data file, then CTL file all the instruction, then while running it will create the logs for with all the details. Okay, so this is a bad file. If any error Oracle related, it will come here. Discard file any. Okay, so just let me show uh, this log later. Okay, so this is the log file created. So as part of the um, uh, load. Okay, it's um, it will be having the all the details, how many records read and all the details. Okay. So, so if any failure, then we will get the discard file. That's the way you can have it. I think I covered pretty much. Okay. Okay. That's all I want to share for today. So try to practice from your and also creating some sample control file and try to load it in your system. Okay. So this is what I want to share for today. Thank you so much for viewing. Please subscribe my channel. Please share it with your friends. Please share your feedback. It will motivate me to create more videos on the topics. Okay. Thank you.